Sheriff Babu says the issue is too much for local law enforcement.
What is needed truly is we're looking at 3,000 soldiers alone for Arizona.
In Pinal County, Mary Ellen Resendez, ABC 15 News.
So you want to live as third world slaves? You are. Now, let's go to the key to all of this. Senator Kyle, town hall meeting just a few days ago, saying he was in a closed-door meeting with Obama, and Obama said, I'm not going to fix the border. I want to use that as a crisis. And this is telling somebody from another political party. Can you imagine what he really says? We're going to use this crisis to force everybody to accept the amnesty plan. Here it is.
Now, why? I'll tell you why. I met with the president in the Oval Office, just the two of us. I kicked the rest of the people out. I asked them if they would leave. I'm sorry. And we had a discussion about it. No, one was General Jones, National Security Advisor, and I. No, and but anyway, here's what the president said. The problem is, he said, if we secure the border, then you all won't have any reason to support comprehensive immigration reform. In other words, they're holding it hostage. They don't want to secure the border unless and until it is combined with comprehensive immigration reform. Now, I explained, you and I, Mr. President, have an obligation to secure the border. That's an obligation. It also has some potentially positive benefits. You don't have to have comprehensive reform to secure the border, but you have to secure the border to get comprehensive reform. I said, you'd be surprised. Maybe you don't think that there would be any more incentive for comprehensive reform, but I'm not so sure that that's true.
Okay.
In any event, it doesn't matter.
You know, the issue here is that that's the North American SPP CFR plan that they wrote in 2005, and that you see them secretly discussing in the SPP North American Union meetings. They said we're going to have a hemispheric ID, now it's been introduced, and everyone from Canada, U.S., and Mexico will travel however they want inside the North American corridor. The highways will be internationally seated, 83 of them, and will fund the new North American government. The major highways will have tolls on it, paid to the new government. And illegals will just be legalized. And then they claim they might secure some of the borders from drug smuggling, which they have no intention of doing. So there you have it, folks. High treason. No other way to slice it. They are holding America hostage. You heard a U.S. Senator. Obama is holding us hostage. So was Bush. Now, we've covered what's happening in Arizona. It's the hardest hit. Mexico, of course, is in a lot worse shape than Arizona. Texas is in bad shape, then New Mexico, and then, of course, California. It is a failed, giant, third-world state whose population has doubled in the last 30 years and is set to double again in the next 25. Most analysts agree that Mexico is probably going to completely collapse into total road warrior in the next 12 months. It already has in most areas. When I was playing those video clips off the news, it just showed dead bodies everywhere, burning buildings, armored vehicles, troops running, dead cops, people kidnapped. I mean, to just hear the audio on the radio is nothing. Go to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com and actually watch the videos. Now, all of that is one thing, but another thing is the federal government has now announced they're going to sue Arizona and other cities. In fact, the Fed sued Farmers Branch last year and won. Farmers Branch said that they were going to ask illegals for ID, which citizens have to show when you get a apartment, but the illegals don't. Again, they're exempt because they're lawless, and the system wants them here. It's kind of like the bankers. You know, Congress says, where's the $2 trillion? Where's this $500 billion? Where's this $800 billion? We're not going to tell you. Mr. Bernanke, you're not going to tell me. No, I'm not going to tell you. Geithner, Chairman Geithner, Secretary Geithner, where is the money? I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm not going to tell you because you represent our slaves. Shut up, Congressman. I mean, this government thinks you're so dumb. They come out in the Washington Post and admit they put out fake bin Laden videos. Folks, it's all fake, okay? Oh, are there real Muslims that want to kill you? Oh, sure. Most of them are funded by the CIA through their imams above them, and the mindless automatons that are out carrying out the attacks really think they're doing it for Allah. They're being handled. You better realize how duplicitous things are and realize that the Constitution and Bill of Rights is the only hedge of protection this republic has, my friends. It is the only hedge of protection that this society has, and that when you lose your due process and your Bill of Rights, you are wide open to every criminal element. And so there's a great headline here. Amid crisis, Obama declares war on Arizona, out of the Examiner. The Obama administration has a lot of fights on its hands, putting aside real wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. There's the battle against leaking oil in the Gulf, the struggle against 9.7% unemployment, more like 25. 23 is what the big industry's putting out, across the country, and clashes over the president's agenda on Capitol Hill. Despite all that, the White House has found time to issue a new declaration of war, this time against an unlikely enemy, the state of Arizona. We're going to cover that more coming up in the next hour. And Nebraska City votes to restrict illegal immigration. AP reports the feds declare they're going to run in and block that. One of Obama's czars over labor is got TV ads taxpayer paid for running, telling illegal aliens to tattle on their employers if they're not being paid full wage. That'll actually backfire. Then people that are exploiting the illegal alien slave class of labor, they may now actually get in trouble. Oh, man, that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in free fall. Mexico's only hope, and I pray for the people of Mexico. They're good people deep down. They've just never had freedom. They've always been under dominance of evil, whether it was the Aztecs or the Mayan culture that it grew from, or the conquistadors. All of it. It doesn't matter. They've never had a chance at freedom. They're good people. But we need to help patriots in Mexico. We need to have Washington. We need to take Washington back, because Washington is manipulating Mexico and teaming up with the tyranny down there to oppress their people. We need, though, to not allow the U.S. to be used as a political steam valve and to let the Mexican people be brainwashed into tools against the United States by the bankers. All right. Next hour coming up. Don't forget the online video bookstore at Infowars.com. The most powerful titles, videos, and books and T-shirts, all available at Infowars.com. Joe in Texas, thanks for holding her on the air.
Hello, Alex. How are you, sir?
Good. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. It just came across news where there was there was an attempt on Falcon Dam down in Zapata, Texas, by the cartel to blow the thing up.
No, I saw that in the Houston Chronicle. Yeah, that came out a few weeks ago. In fact, I printed that and forgot. I printed it a week ago. I printed it this weekend, and I forgot. Guys, will you print Zapata plot to blow up dam that would have conservatively killed tens of thousands? It's Houston Chronicle and a local TV station. Yes, they've now said they're going to blow up dams, and the media's kept that real quiet. And I've succumbed to the disease that if the media, mainstream media, had made it a big deal, I didn't cover it. See, it's worse. Rocket attacks, hand grenade attacks, mass kidnappings, plans to blow up dams confirmed. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, and I know that I believe it was you, Alex, or your team that I think a while back had interviewed a sheriff down there near Zapata and Rio Grande City, which is just down the road. And that, from what I understand, is a real bad hotbed down there. And
yeah, I haven't interviewed those sheriffs in about 3 years. We had a gaggle of them on, and they all said the same thing. That the illegal drug cartels come to their deputies and say, I'm going to kill you and your wife and children if you don't get on the payroll. And so most of them go on the payroll. And some valiant sheriffs have spoken out against it, and then some of them get shot or threatened. And if they just roll over and take the drug money, the feds are involved in it. They leave them alone. And, yeah, if they ever do interdict cocaine or other drugs, the Mexican troops were coming in a mile, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. They're now upwards of 100 miles into Arizona and 50 miles into Texas. Just total lawlessness. So, yes, sir, we did have those sheriffs on, and we should get them back on.
Well, listen, Alex, God bless you for your work, sir, and we're spreading the word too, brother.
God bless you. Yeah, remember last year, folks from the National Guard in Texas sent us a document. They didn't say who they were. That smart leakers. But I called the phone numbers and confirmed it was real. And they simultaneously leaked it to some other publications, which is good. And we don't want to be the only ones to get the info, folks. How Ron Paul and myself are surveilled by Army intelligence. And it said when you go to the In the Fed rallies, namely in Dallas when they were there covering, and we had that in the Obama deception, by the way, they said, do not let the In the Fedders know that you're Army intel, or they may turn into terrorists and kill you. So you got a bunch of women, children, men, people of all races out there peacefully bullhorning the Federal Reserve. And the Army's there, and they tell these Army men, they tell these intelligence officers that don't let them know you're Army or we may turn and kill them. Give me a break. Give me a break. I mean, come on. Come on. We're not the lawless criminals stealing trillions of dollars out of the Treasury. We're not the ones letting the borders be wide open. We're not the ones that use the federal government as their private cash machine. So, see, they teach the cops that the American people are a bunch of terrorists and that anybody who stands up for liberty and freedom and what this country is built on. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? What you hear on this radio show by every historical yardstick is Americana.